Have you heard of the brand called Accsoon? They have a wireless video transmitter called the CineEye 2S Pro. The S in the 2S stands for the SDI port it got next to the HDMI. What is special about the CineEye 2S Pro is that you can connect up to 4 receiver units with the video transmitter, and it only costs a fraction of the price of other brands. You might wonder, why on earth would you need 4 receivers at all? Well, because you can, but also if you are working in a professional setting, you need multiple large monitor setups, one for the director, one for the first AC to remote pull focus with, one for the data wrangler to keep an eye on when to switch memory cards. But I have also seen some who record an additional backup through the wireless system, and optionally you can set up a monitor for the producer or clients to view, so they don't breathe down the neck of the director. Plus, using a bigger and brighter monitor makes a huge difference when pulling focus remotely, but also checking on small details in the frame that might need adjusting, like props, makeup or more, are easier to spot on a much bigger monitor. To make it easier to connect the transmitter with multiple receivers, there's no difficult pairing process hidden inside the menu. Just simply rotate the dial to the same number and confirm it, and that is it. On the side of the CineEye 2S Pro, you can find the SDI and the HDMI ports, and you can cross-connect them between the ports. For example, if your camera only got an SDI out, but you only were able to get a HDMI monitor for the receiver, it still will work, but also vice versa. The video signal it can transfer is 1080p up to 60 frames per second and all the professional frame rates under it. On the bottom of the units there's a quarter 20 mounting point, and in the box you can find hot shoe adapters for it. But if you don't want a crazy tall setup like this, I would suggest you checking out the FeelWorld F5 Pro or the F7 Pro, which work with the CineEye 2S Pro, making a much nicer compact setup. Next to using receivers, it of course also works with mobile devices like their previous CineEye models. Their app includes a lot of professional features you can find on professional field monitors, like waveforms, markers, focus assist, D-squeeze for anamorphic footage, and even LUTs can be loaded in. And also there's a live stream feature within the app. But because you are using the Wi-Fi to connect your mobile device to the transmitter, you have to use your phone's data plan to stream with, which might be not fast enough or cost you quite a lot to stream with. Powering the units, you can use the Sony MPF plate on the back and the DC port. They are hot swappable, so you can keep on working. It also has a very low power consumption, and using a large Sony MPF 970 battery, you can expect it to work continuously for 14 hours. The reach of the CineEye 2S Pro is about 350 meters or about 1200 feet, which ensures a very good stable connection when using it at a much more normal, closer distance. As honestly, it's very rare anybody needs to monitor at such a large distance for most productions. But also it has a very clever system combining 2.4G and 5G transmissions to ensure it can find the clean signal, and especially using the units in a city with tons of Wi-Fi around. The spec says it has a latency of 60 milliseconds, which is much faster than I could blink an eye. To put it in perspective, 20 frames per second, just one frame of it lasts 41.6 milliseconds. So it's a bit faster than 1.5 frames, which is in reality barely visible. Despite that, the real delay you see in the final monitor is really dependable on the rest of your gear. The fact is that your camera, cables and even monitor can add a delay. If you're using a consumer camera, there will be a more notable delay even without a wireless transmitter. But because I'm not paid to do this review, I'm not gonna rent a proper cinema camera to show you the difference between the setups with a proper SDI cable versus HDMI and also the rest. In conclusion, the CineEye 2S Pro is definitely a great transmitter system when you are ready to step up to a more professional setting that would require multiple receivers without the big price tag attached. Hope you found this a very interesting video. If you really like it, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.